Yo! Welcome back to a brand new Craftopia guide. In today's guide, we're going to be talking about an automatic cog wheel farm. Now, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like and subscribe. Comment down below of any help that you may need in the game. But let's do this. Now, recently we have done an automatic clay farm to assist us with that oil rig. Now, another one of the resources required to upgrade your oil rig is cog wheels. Now, cog wheels are very easy to make, however, it can still take a while. So today we're going to fully automate that process so we're able to tick off another stage of that oil rig. Now, everything that's able to be automated within the oil rig, I will make guides on. So today we're doing the cog wheel farm. So we are going to start off by just building a nice big empty plane so we've got some building space. Now we can extend this as much as needed to make it fit whatever we like. Now you can do this method using water or using pots. Today I'm going to use pots purely because I feel like the water is a lot easier to keep these automations going, and I know a couple of you guys are struggling when it comes to using pots with monos. So I'm going to use pots today, but you can do this exact same process, but instead of the monos going into the pot, have them going into the water instead. So we are going to start off by equipping a large pot and placing it anywhere. Now I'm going to equip a breeder and I'm going to place it on the top of the pot. Perfect, so we now have a pot with a breeder on the top. Now, as I said, you can do this layout however you like. You can stack these or put a pot behind with your monos on, whatever you want to do. But today I'm going to stack. That's just how I personally like to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to equip a floor and I'm going to place it just above this first breeder. And I'm going to do one back as well. And we'll do another one behind that. So now I'm going to equip a second pot and I'm going to place it on the top here. And I'm going to do the same thing of placing a breeder on the back of the pot. And there we go. So what we have is a breeder going into a pot above a breeder going into a pot. Now for this method, you can do this with the boss Kevins or just any level crocodile. So here I have 2 level 2 crocodiles and 2 level 40 monos. So I'm just going to build out from the side of this pot a little bit and I'm going to equip a market and place it on the ends. Just so we can place some droppers onto this market. I'm going to put 4 on here, but do between 4 and 6. And then I'm going to place an absorber on this market to ensure that any of the eggs that go in the pot from the green monos are fired out and collected. Same with the cactuses and that kind of thing. So that now means, because this is set up, we can go ahead and put our 2 monos on the top breeder. So there we go. The monos will start going into the pot. They will start dying, healing the 2 on top and also healing our breeder underneath. So for this one, we are going to place the crocodiles on it. But before we do that, we're going to get it set up so the pot doesn't start building up too much stuff. Now we're going to go for a couple of different methods here. It will still lead to the same result. It will just depend what you personally want to do, but I'll explain that as we go. But first of all, we're going to place some droppers on the big pot. Now, again, you can do between 4 and 6 and you will be absolutely set. So now anytime something dies in this pot, it will be fired out of here. So now what I'm going to do is place down a conveyor belt where the dropper will fire on and hit this conveyor belt. Now, as I said, build this however you want. I'm going to go out to sea, but you can build it. You can build it up different layers, whatever you want to do. I'm just showing you the basics here today. So now I'm going to put some walls behind the conveyor belt to stop any spillage from this dropper being fired over the edge, as we don't want any waste. So now I am actually going to place my crocodiles onto this breeder. So I'm going to come up on top here. To make sure they get on there. Lovely. And because they're level 2, they will die nice and fast in the pot. So when the crocodile falls in like so, you see it will take a bunch of damage. And then when it dies, as it will die very fast, the loot is then fired out and collected wherever we'd like it to go. Now, as all these resources are being fired out, we now get to choose what is done with them. Now, of course, we are making the automatic cog farm, so we're going to use a furnace and an assembly machine. but we also have all the other resources as well. Now, recently we made a video talking about the sorting machines and how we can use them to automatically store these resources individually in their own chest. So you can do that. However, today we are not going to do that, and we are just going to be selling the other resources. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring in a sorting machine, and I'm going to place it on the end of these conveyor belts. Just like so. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the control panel on it, and I'm going to set it to only allow the iron ore. So now what will happen, we just collect these extras from in here. The iron ore gets fired out, the iron ore goes through, and everything else gets brought out this side door. So let's go ahead and put down some more conveyor belts to just bring this away. And we can have whatever we want done with all of that. But for this stuff here, I'm actually going to bring this out, and I'm going to bring it this way just so we can keep them separated and you can see the full example. So let's place one more down on there. Lovely. So now we've got all the rest of the resources going off that way. That can go to a market, that can go to storage, whatever we want to do. And all the iron ore is coming through this side. So now I'm going to equip an automatic furnace. Now, if you don't have the automatic furnace, that's fine. You can actually do this with a regular furnace using a chest and a craft connector leading to that furnace, automatically making the ingots for you. But as we can see, we are starting to save up the iron ore in here. So I'm going to come over to the control panel, and I'm going to set it to iron ore infinite autocraft. And now iron ore will start coming out this side. Perfect. Now I'm actually going to attach an automatic assembly machine to the other side of the furnace. And this will start saving up these iron ingots. So I'm going to set this. Going to go all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to set this in the intermediate products to make Cog Wheels infinite autocraft. And there we go. Cog Wheels are now being made fully automatic. Now all we need to do is lead these to collection. So I'm actually going to place down some conveyor belts and have them brought all the way back down. Bit of a longer route than I was expecting, but as I said, lay this out however you like. And this is purely for an example purpose. Okay, so as you can see, monos at the top, dying in this pot. Everything is being fired out and being sold in this market. I don't really care about the random eggs out there. I didn't exactly position this out. If it's not going straight into the market, separate them a little bit, or place a wall so that everything fired out of that dropper hits the wall, and then you have a market this side absorbing it. That way it all fires to the same spot. But that was just a quick setup. That goes into there, they die, healing the two crocodiles up here, which are staying full health, dropping crocodiles into the pot. That is then being fired out, completely separated. Everything else goes one way, the ore goes another way. That goes into the automatic furnace and gets turned into the iron ingots, as you can see them going through the gap there. They then come to the automatic assembly machine and get turned into the cog wheels. Then that then comes all the way back round to our storage area. But you could put a chest here, absorbing straight out of the automatic assembly machine, whatever you want to do. This is just for an example purpose. But as you can see, the cog wheels are then coming all the way down our track and coming to a certain point here where we could have them collected using a chest and an absorber. So I'm just going to place a chest down here. I'm going to put an absorber on the back of it. And there we go. All of the cog wheels that come out of that side will now be automatically collected. Now, if this isn't making cog wheels fast enough for you, put another 2 crocs in. You could actually have 2 crocs going into this pot for double the output. Just remember to put more droppers on there to ensure that nothing gets built up. Now for this stuff here, you can have this taken into another chest. You could have this stuff taken into an assembly machine as well and crafted into something different, whatever you want to do. But for nice simple purposes today, I'm just going to put some floors down here. I'm going to place a market at the end. And I'm going to place an absorber on that market. Now, I personally don't like selling everything. I usually don't sell this stuff or even the eggs because we've all got that picture book to fill up. But if you want to make some passive money, then that is a great way to do it. Maybe you're only doing this for the cog wheels, but if you actually check out my sorting machine video, it shows you exactly how to have each of these items taken to its own storage chest. Meaning you would just have an unlimited supply of leather, fangs and raw meat. But as I mentioned, you could have that raw meat being taken into a cooker and being cooked. Do whatever you like with it. That's the great thing about this sorting machine, is it can separate to as many different aisles as you like so that you can go off and do its own thing. So this is just using the iron ore. We could also use the other stuff as well. But there you go, that is an automatic cogwheel machine. Now, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do drop a like and subscribe. Comment down below of any help that you may need in the game or any automations that you would like me to build. As I said, this is mainly for the oil rig, and I have many more automations coming to help make that oil rig process a lot easier. But certainly do let me know if there is another resource, whether it's for the oil rig or not, that you are struggling to get, and I will make an automation. Remember to be gathering those resources to get that oil rig done, and then we have some automations ready for when that oil rig is fully built. So catch yourself some crocodiles, have an automatic iron farm, and that will help you with the iron ingots and the cog wheels. But most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!